Welcome back to pregame.tv. Saturday college football action. I'm ready, boy. I love college football.
My favorite sport. I mean, and I called college hoops for 8 years, but I love college football, college basketball, my two favorites. I mean, and I love the NFL, but there's something about it, man. The kids playing for the love of the game. And, yeah, I'm a guy that's Saturday mornings, I'm ready to roll by 7 a.m., and I'll go back and I'll check all the lines, make sure that there's no last-minute things that I want to change up. But I enjoy watching them. The in-running wagering I love, also the halftime lines. And I feel that I scout games really well. So I like to play the second half lines, things like that, and the in-running wagering.
Absolutely. And college is, approach to the pro. I feel, that I'm more of a situational handicapper. I think situations work even better in college because you're dealing with kids, you're dealing with emotions. I love scenarios of being able to understand rivalries, flat spots, look-ahead spots. You're going to see more of that in the college level than you will in the NFL. Mm-hmm. So I'm with you. I love both sports. And last year I actually did better in the NFL than we did in college, but historically it's been the other way around. College has been the bread and butter.
Agreed.
We look at this game and kind of set the table. I know this is your play, but you've got a BYU team coming in here, opening the season on the road. Their defense last year was fantastic. They held 10 of 13 opponents to 17 points or less. Now, Virginia, is a team that, they've been on a decline the last couple of years. They had some good teams, back in the day, but not been real good. And, last year I think they were 4-8 for the season.
What NFL quarterback went there? Matt Schaub.
Right, Houston. You look at this scenario, and BYU, because of their defense, when they did lose games, and, they were 8-5 last year, 4 of those 5 losses were all on the road. 4 of the 5 were on the road, and those 4 losses on the road came by a combined, all 4 games, 13 points. Mm-hmm. That defense keeps you in every game. What's your overview on this one?
Kate, not only that, but they also had a couple wins they pulled out against Utah State, a couple crazy ones in Pro Bowl. I mean, Greg Wrubell, the voice of BYU's come on the show. He said, Ken, last year calling games, I'm on the edge of my seat, and in the final 2 minutes of so many games, win or lose. And they were able to pull some of those out, and they lost some tough ones as well. But the one thing about BYU, when you're going up against them early on, if they're back in the trenches, you're in trouble because, again, these kids, a lot of them coming back from missions, you're going to have some of these kids that are going to be 22, 23, 24, as opposed to 18, 19, 20. And I will tell you this, that Bronco Mendenhall has done an outstanding job building chemistry with this program. And, again, they're not putting up gaudy offensive numbers the way they did back in the McMahon and Mark Wilson days.
Glory days.
Right. They're relying more on smash mouth football and, like you said, good solid defense. And they've got, although they lost 7 starters on defense, they bring back maybe the best linebacker in the country in Kyle Van Noy. This guy is ridiculously good, and if you don't get a chance to see him, you're missing out. As great as Jadeveon Clowney is on the defensive line, I think Kyle Van Noy is that good from the linebacking core.
Yeah. Now, for years, BYU, that gimmick defense that they used to, the 3-3-5, they've transitioned into a 3-4 defense, and you think that's a big help to this team getting away from that gimmick defense?
I would say that I trust in Mendenhall. He's a guy that knows his personnel real well. He knows what's going to fit, and he'll make adjustments if he has to. But again, this BYU team, a lot of experience. They switched around at the quarterback position last year. Hill comes in. He's got the job now. It's his. Now, I'm not sold on his passing arm yet. That's the one concern if you're a BYU fan, is that we know Hill can run with the best of the quarterbacks around the country, but again, his arm, and he's got some good solid receivers to throw to. Again, if he's accurate, this team's going to win a lot of games. And when you look at their schedule, I think it may be the toughest in this country. I mean, it is in the top 5 as far as I'm concerned, as far as schedules in the country.
Yeah, and that was the thing last year, and I think that's why so many of their games were close, both on the winning end and the losing end. They just the defense kept them in all of the games, but the offense too often, and basically the quarterback play was too inconsistent at times to, get those long sustained drives and punch them in instead of having to settle for a field goal or have the drive fizzle out. Early in the season, when you've got, two teams like this that have decent defenses, BYU much better defense, and then you've got an offense that struggled like Virginia's, I tend to look at the unders early in the season because I think the defenses generally are going to be ahead of the offenses. Are you somebody that subscribes to that theory?
For the most part, and again, you're right. Good. It's easier to tackle than it is to make plays if you're just getting acclimated to the game. And so, if you see an offense with a lot of new faces, a lot of times you got to kind of wait and see. And so, you'll use that first week with that particular team a lot of times just to scout to see if they have any type of chemistry or if they've got some growing pains to go through.
Right. Now, Virginia, they bring back 9 on offense, 7 on defense, but on offense, they are replacing a starting quarterback.
Right.
And, against the defense as good as BYU's, you got to figure they're going to struggle a little in this game.
Well, they had a revolving door with the quarterback situation. Watford was named the starter, but the other 2 guys transferred. You had Sims transfer, and you also had Rocco, right? Both guys transferred. Rocco actually went to play for his uncle, Danny Rocco, who's at Richmond, which ironically is where Mike London, the coach now, came from.
That is weird. You lose your quarterback and have him go where he used to be. All right. Well, you know what? This is your free play. We've kind of talked it out. Let's go ahead and make it official and see what you have.
You got it. And in Charlottesville, not an easy place to play, but a BYU team, again, a veteran team, Band of Brothers. That's their little theme right there. That's what they go by. They have shirts made up, Band of Brothers. Very tightly knit group up there from Provo. And these guys, when they go on the road, just like they have their own network, they're independent now. They're not concerned. Like I said, a lot of good chemistry up there. And Bronco Mendenhall, to me, is a coach that just gets it. And he wants to see these kids excel in the classroom and excel in life after their football days are over. Again, an advantage for some of the LDS kids because they go on their missions, they come back. So you get a lot of very mature kids, especially when they're juniors and seniors there in Provo, that they're playing. Now, their best player offensively is not an LDS kid. He's Jamal Williams. He's the Fontana kid who came on the squad last year as a 17-year-old true freshman and actually put up 775 yards and 12 touchdowns. They say he looks so good now that Bronco Mendenhall just takes it for granted that he's going to do what he needs to do. They expect him to go well over 1,000 yards and get in the end zone possibly up to 20 times this year. If he does that, BYU will have an outstanding year. Taysom Hill, again, a guy that will tuck it under and run a little more than he may have to, or maybe he did that last year. I'm looking for some maturation to see him throw the ball. Reason why? Cody Hoffman, one of the best receivers in the country. Remember Austin Collie, how he excelled in Provo? Same type receiver, only even a bigger version of Austin Collie in Cody Hoffman. Had 100 receptions last year, 1,248 yards and 11 touchdowns. This kid's the real deal. So we'll probably see a little bit more throwing out of Taysom Hill. Again, Kyle Van Noy leads just 4 starters back, but a bunch of guys that had playing time last year didn't get many starts. But again, Mendenhall is a guy, especially towards the end of the year, he'll filter kids in and out to get them some game day experience. So I like the BYU offense. I think the defense, Van Noy will have kids in the right place, and he'll kind of get that defense situated. He's the catalyst. Now, they've got to be careful of Kevin Parks. Kevin Parks can flat out run for Virginia. He's solid. The junior put up over 700 yards, only 5 touchdowns last year. Again, Mike London needs more production from that offense. And now Watford, the starter, he knows it's his job. Like we said, Sims and Rocco both transferred, so it is Watford's job to lose. Pretty good offensive lineman Morgan Moses leads that offensive team, but they were minus 14 in the turnover ratio last year. That will not get it done. And after a 4-8 campaign for the Wahoos, or as they call them there locally, or the Cavaliers, they need to do better. They need to make a bowl game, or you're going to see London. We talked about Bobby Houck being gone. London will be gone as well. Now, they have some good wideouts coming back. Tim Smith, Terrell, and Jennings. All these guys are back. So plenty of weapons for Watford to get the ball to. They are led defensively by Demetrius Nicholson, pretty solid defensive guy from the secondary at the cornerback position. So, again, Virginia, they have the home field. They have a lot of starters back. But, again, will they be physical enough to knock off BYU? BYU a 1-point favorite. I'm going to take the team that has experience on the offense, and I feel in the trenches they will win this game. They'll wear down the Cavs by the third quarter, end of the third quarter. I think Virginia's right in it at halftime. I think it's a lower scoring game, and I think BYU wins this game somewhere around 24-16, 24-17, right around there. So my play, pregame.tv, on the road, BYU opening up in Charlottesville, knocking off Virginia straight up, Marco.
All right, you know what? I can't say that I disagree with you and, on both counts, BYU and in a low-scoring game. So there you go. That's Ken's play. We've got one more play here at pregame.tv. We're going to come back. A team I think some people have heard of, Alabama. They're playing Saturday.
Never heard of them.
Yeah, Alabama, Virginia Tech. That's up next. Pregame.tv.